Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, right? Lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying, kind of put some things together. Lord's will through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, everything comes together and it get to the point that we've been making, because lately this devil, this demon vocab Malone has been having a notion to pop up to our camps to spread confusion and cause all types of mischief. And he's doing it because he knows that he's lost, and he knows that he doesn't have the truth. But their argument with us is the fact that Esau is done away with, which is bullshit. Okay, the 12 tribes of Israel, the Most High has opened up his blessings to other nations now, so anybody can be saved, including the so-called white man. Because see, that's one thing about guys like vocab. See, they say the greatest trick the devil pulled is to convince the world he didn't exist. And you got this devil vocab basically stating that the so-called white man, or Esau, isn't the so-called white man, which is another way of saying that his nation have been done away with. But if he understands the scriptures and understand the historical aspect of the scriptures in Bible prophecy, which Christians tend to run from, he would know that his people is alive and very well today. Okay, they're alive and very well, to say the least. Oh my God, give me a second, man. What the fuck? Give me a second, man. This shit pisses me the fuck off, man. Anyway, so long story short, the Edomite is alive and very well today, and the so-called white man is known as the biblical Edomites. Okay, prophecy proves that, historical facts proves that, the scriptures prove that, and also contextual clues in the scriptures also prove that. All right. For one thing, when the Lord said that they should be as swift as the eagle, notice that the scriptures give you certain context clues as to the symbology of Esau, Edom, because of his pride. And their main symbol is that of the eagle, going all the way back into the Greeks, the Romans, even the modern day Romans, which is you Americans. They adopt what they call the eagle because the eagle was known as the highest flying bird. And on top of that, the pride of the eagle. Okay, you have a ride at roller coaster, every Six Flags amusement park, called the American Eagle. Okay, and Esau equates himself with the eagle because that's the highest flying bird, is pride. Okay, also the scriptures goes into how Esau would be the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed it. So when you trace their lineage from the beginning all the way from the seed of Cain, that's reincarnated to the line of Esau, which was reincarnated through the line, which Esau is Esau, but you got the Greeks, the Romans, and the modern day Americans, the modern day British, the modern day Russians. Okay, you got the Ottoman Turks, which a lot of the Ottoman Turks are Edomites. A lot of those Khazars come out of the Ottoman Empire. Okay, which is a mixture of Ishmaelites and a mixture of Edomites, predominantly Esau, because you got to understand that Esau married into the daughters of Ishmael. Okay, and this is where you get the Ottoman Turks from. But over the years, you had them, which is the Khazars, which you got the Romans, which were basically Japhetic peoples, but he took over the lands and assumed the identities of these particular nations and called themselves after those nations. And this is why the scriptures say that they named themselves after their own lands, because whatever land they take over, then that's what they become. Like, okay, America, right? Esau wasn't known as the Americans until they took over the land of America. Same thing with British, the French, the Greeks, the Turks. Now he's the Jews. He's everybody outside of the damn devil that the Bible talks about. So when you look at this chart here, and it just goes into basically the empires and the names they reformed themselves under, which you got the Romans, okay, and then you got the Khazars here, all right, then you got the Romans, which the Vaticans, and then you got the Knights Templar, or the Templars, which was basically like a secret society, okay, going all the way down to the Bavarian Illuminati. But then you go all the way down to you got Switzerland, then it goes down to France, which is the Templar Purge, and then you got the Jesuits of 1534, Okay, then you got the Jesuit Restoration, which was formed in 1814. Then when you go back up to the right, you got the Khazars, okay, which converted over to Judaism, which were who you call the small hats today. Then you got the Kabbalah. Okay, then you got down here, it says they were forced out of Khazaria and merged into Switzerland, and then the Switzerland took over Germany, and then they became the Germans. And then when you go down here, you got the Bavarian Illuminati all the way down to 1776, which is the Rothschilds dynasty from the 1800, which is basically the what they call the Renaissance, which was established in 1492. But even then, you go from Switzerland, then you got the British, then you got the Freemasons, okay, which out of the Britain, the USA was formed, okay. But even then, you had what they call not the French Freemasons, but I believe they adopted that Statue of Liberty from the French. I believe they were Freemasons, but I believe they was like of some type of French origin, if I'm not mistaken. But you got the USA, which is 1776, and then going down here to the Bavarian Illuminati, Templar, to the USA, to the Masonic Vatican coup, all the way down to the Rothschild dynasty. But all these particular identities they hid themselves under, which were Edomites, man. Okay, I got a book called The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite, which was in 1853, which was written by William Beeston. Okay, but when you go down here, it says Britain from 1314 to the Freemasons up until 1717. Then you got the Bank of England. All these were the roles of Edomites. You see? So up until modern day, the Masonic Vatican group under the Rothschild dynasty, these are Edomites. They just hide themselves under different names. Okay, because it makes common sense, right? When you go back into Genesis, the 4th chapter, when the Most High said that Cain should be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, the main thing of a fugitive will be to disguise himself and hide in plain sight. Okay, if you're a fugitive and you're a vagabond, which is a criminal on the run, why would you go under your particular name if you can change your name? Like the Rothschilds, they changed their name from Red Shield to Bowser, to Red Shield to Bowser to Rothschild, or Bauer or Rothschild, but Red Shield or Rothschild. Just like the Rockefellers, they're basically the Rothschilds, but the American or the equivalent version of the Rothschilds, but they changed their name to Rockefeller, from Red Shield to Bauer to Rothschild to Rockefeller. So this man is constantly changing identities because he believes that he can outsmart the Most High, because basically you got the wanted post on his ass, man. Okay, Esau is a wanted man, and this is why he's hiding himself among the nations, man. Okay, going to the story of Cain. But anyway, so with that being said, I got a map here which displays the kingdom of Israel. And then down here of the kingdom of Judah, you got the kingdom of Edom. Okay, which if you go into the history, you will know that Esau dwelled in Basra. He dwelled in Petra, which Petra is basically a city in Edom. It's not Basra, but it's within the same province of South Jordan. And we're going to get into that. But also here you got the kingdom of Judah, which is the Israelites. And then to your south, you got Edom. Okay, but you got Basra, which is the capital city in Edom, which we, through spiritual notion, America is basically the modern day Basra, because this is predominantly Esau's, this is his capital, so to speak. Well, one of them. Okay, even here, you got Israel to the right, but here to the left, Salakia, but you got Jordan, and then it says Mount Seir, which they say Esau, Edom is Mount Seir. Esau dwelled in Mount Seir, and we're going to get that as well. Basra, you got Mount Hor, and then you got Petra. But it still circumvents the territory of Edom, which proves that if you look at modern day Petra, they build their buildings just like they build today, like your courthouses, your senates. Like I believe the what do you call Capitol Hill? I believe that goes back into the Temple of Mars during the time of the Romans. Okay, when they had their senates and their meetings and their particular trials and stuff, the same thing that they do today. Okay, it's called like the Temple of Mars, if I'm not mistaken, from the research we've done. You see, so Esau is basically trying to hide himself in plain sight, but he can't hide from Yahweh Shai Shai. And this is to prove to that devil vocab that your people is still around and very well. Because when you go into the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, it says Edom. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I'm looking right at it, so let's get it. So bear with me, brothers. Gonna look up Edom, and they try to debunk this, but certain things you just can't get around, bruh. All right, so yep, bingo. Call light, how about Shimi, how was shy? Okay, so it says here, Edom or Edomites. It says, the kingdom of Edom was founded during the 13th century BC, according to the archaeological evidence. In the process of about 4 centuries of government of Edom, changed from one under tribal chiefs to the monarchy, Saul fought against the Edomites, which is 1 Samuel 14 and 47. But David conquered them and put garrisons throughout the whole land, which is 2 Samuel 8 and 14. It says Judah lost Edom in the reign of Jeroboam when she revolted against him in about 847 BC, which is in 2 Kings 8 and 20 through 22. And about 50 years later, Amaziah, king of Judah, inflicted a severe feat on the Edomites, okay? And it goes into the history. So when you go down, it says Edom figures predominantly in the prophetic scriptures. And when you think of prophecy, you think of something that's a future tense, right? Because pro means to before, and say or phasai means to say. So Isaiah 34 is future prophecy going into Idumea, which is another way of saying Esau or Edom. It says in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. Okay. It says, see notably Isaiah 34 and 5, Isaiah 6, also Isaiah 35, 4 and 6, 34 verse 5 through 6, also Isaiah 63 and 1, when it says, who cometh from Basra with dyed garments with the strength of his apparel, talking about Yahushai. It says, she is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. Okay, but it says figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures, meaning something to come to pass. Okay, so that's you Edomites today, you so-called white people, man, all the way from you Amalekites, okay, to you common American devils, to you British devils, you French devils, you Swiss devils, you Canadian devils, okay, you Irish devils. All you devils are going in captivity right along with your grandmaster vocab along. All right. So anyway, I'll come back to that later. So this is what I did. I looked up Petra, right? And if you look at these buildings and you look at modern day Wall Street, look at this. Okay. This is all a commemoration of what they did. This ain't nothing but the damn caves all over again. Because remember in Job, it tells us that our fathers driven them into the caves because they was a derision among men. The fact that Esau, Edom was so vile to the point we didn't want him around us, man. That's why Job said, I would disdain him to sit with the dogs of my flock. He didn't even want his dogs around these devils, man, because, hey, Esau was into bestiality. You know, he didn't they used to take, one bath a year, if that. Fucking lice. They was detestable people. And to this day, they're still just the scum of the earth, man. They just have a little bit of civility to them now because they've been around civilization. They've learned things through us. But overall, these devils are still how they still have the same beast-like nature. But when you look at this looks like modern day fucking Basra. This looks like a cave, man. Concrete everywhere. The buildings are tall. That's why when you go downtown Chicago or any major metropolis, you go downtown, it echoes, man. It's like a damn cave. This is why you have concrete everywhere, man. And when you go into that word Petra, it means rock. And concrete is a form of a rock, right? Okay. So even going back here, look at this. Commemorating their Roman Caesars. Look at the statues, the Confederate statues. This is the same. This is nothing but the Roman Empire all over again. And vocab knows that. But he's so complacent and so guilt-ridden because he knows that his people have a lot to pay for. And they haven't paid for their sins yet, man. That's why Esau is running. This is why, he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. Okay? Now, look at this. This is Petra right here. And what are the chances that Petra means road? They call it Rose City because of the red or the ruby red color. But we also know that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is red. I mean, look at eagle-faced Trump. All right? Or look at any of these devils that bathed in the sun. They turn red, man. Because that's Esau. And he's very alive and well today. You know? Look at this. They Roman emperors, right? This is a commemoration of their Roman Empire. You got Julius Caesar, you got Claudius, you got Titus, Vespasian, Domitian, Caesars. Okay, you got, what is it? Caligula. You had Nero. Okay, you had Antipater the Idumean, and various other Edomite Caesars and rulers at that time. And these are the same people today in the form of Joe Biden, Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Got Justice Roberts. You know, and I'm just naming a lot of these devils that you see sitting in Senate and your Congress and your government and your state. Governor Mike Parsons, your city councils, your state councils. These are all these men coming back. Okay? Peep this. This is just another way of commemorating who they are. So you can't tell me that the so-called white man isn't alive and well today. Shit, we looking right at him. We stay by the devil. Anyway, so when you look at the map, it says location in Jordan, all right? Now, when you go back to this map here, it's right on bar, okay? Jordan, you got Mount Seir, which is in the land of Jordan, which is pretty much Israel, or next, with around the same province, because technically all this land is going to be ours anyway. Technically, it all belongs to us anyway. But it says Mount Seir, Basra, Mount Hor, Petra. So when you look here on the map today, same geographical location. But Basra will probably be what? You see what that red dot? That's Petra. I want to say around this ocean, around this line, this lake line, or this water line. That's probably what Basra will be. But it's in the same landmass, man. Okay. So anyway, let's read. It says the Iron Age Edom. It says the Iron Age lasts between 1200 and 600 BC. It says in that time, the Petra area was occupied by the Edomites because this was their land. The configuration of mountains in Petra allowed for a reservoir of water for the Edomites. This made Petra a stopping ground for merchants, making it an outstanding area for trade because it is rich. We actually did trade with Esau when it came to business transactions. We dealt with them. We traded with other nations, man. That's not off. But it says things that were traded here, including wines, olive oil, and wood. It says initially the Edomites were accompanied by the nomads who eventually left, which they were Edomites too. But the Edomites stayed and made their mark on Petra before the emergence of the Nabateans. Now, when you go into the book, what's this guy's name? Kosler of the 13th tribe. I believe it tampers on the history of the nomads and it goes into the Nabateans. But they were all Edomites, man. And eventually these particular tribes, they merged over into what they call Judaism. Okay. And they became who you known as the Jewish people today, these Edomites. But it says it is said that 10,000 men were thrown off the mountain El Bayar. But this story has been debated by scholars. But the Edomite site excavated at the top of El Bayar and Mount at Petra was established no earlier than the 7th century BC. Okay, but the thing is, they built their buildings exactly the same way as Wall Street. Okay, Esau wasn't that great of an empire that if he's done away with, somebody's going to come behind him and replicate what they did, knowing that evil history. Okay, so it don't make sense when you got Vocab Malone saying, oh, the Edomites ain't here today. But Bible prophecy says different. Okay, so it says Basra or Petra. It says Petra is a Greek word for a city in southern Jordan today. Once again, the land of Edom. And today that was known in the Old Testament time as Basra. It says the word Petra means rock and the word Basra means sheepfold and or fortress. It says it is located in the ancient region of Edom, which is southeast of the Dead Sea in modern day Jordan. Okay. Edom was given a name to Jacob's brother Esau, Genesis 25 and 30, whose name means red. Okay. It says the rock in Petra is red and the city entrance in the interior have characteristics of a sheepfold. You see? So right there, that tells you straightforward that these are the same people coming back today. The modern day Edomites is who you would consider the Caucasians today, or as Elder Malcolm would say, Cajuns of Caw, which Caucasian means cave dweller, or somebody that dwells or lives in caves. And when you look at Wall Street, this is nothing but a damn valley. This is a cave. Look at this. You know? You can't get around this vocab. You cannot get around it. I don't give a damn how much you try to spin it. Look at that, man. If this ain't modern day Petra or Basra, I don't know what to tell you. And you go into any city, any major metropolis, you go to the courthouses or the buildings. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let's look up Temple of Mars, Rome. Bam. Look at this. Look like modern day Capitol Hill to me. See? This is how Esau built his architecture. Now peep this. Let's look up Capitol Hill today. Capitol Hill, not Capitol Hall, Capitol Hill. Watch this. Oh. This ain't nothing but the Temple of Mars already erected again. This is just modern day. That's why everything is reincarnated, man. Kingdoms, people, everything. This is nothing but the Temple of Mars. This is what we just looked up in Rome. And why? And we know, according to this book, the Roman Empire, the empire of the Edomites. How in the hell are these not the same people today? Huh? Now this is, you can't disprove this, man. We're bringing it out. And this is why Yahweh Shai, man, is only dealing with the Israelites. Look at this. Your modern day Caesars here. Which number, he may have been a Jake, number 4 and number 12. I believe Marcus Aurelius, I believe he was a Jake. We all believe he was a Jake, but we believe that the Caesars that had the beards were the Jakes. Because you had Jake emperors as well, just like today. You got Jake that's sending seats in Senate. You got Jake that's sending Congress. You got Jake, man. You got Jake that's on a high level in America, man. Okay, that you got Jake high up in the military. You got Jake high up in governments. Shit, Jake gets it out here, and they always been hand in hand with Esau when it came to particular dealings of these particular what do you call it? These particular ordinance, man. Because this is the wicked. This is his kingdom. So you can't get around that vocab, man. And I'm gonna get into the precepts, but I wanted to make these notable points because at this point, can't nobody refute this shit. So this is the book. I took a screenshot of it. It's called The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite. Okay, and we know that Esau, Edom. Matter of fact, let's get this in Genesis 35 real quick. Let's get that. Genesis 35 and when it say Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Let me find that real quick. It may be Genesis 36. Yep, Genesis 36. And I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. And I'm going to go down here. The verse 7, it says, for their riches were more than they might dwell together. And the land wherein they strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Like when you go back into Petra, it goes into sheepfold. And it says, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Okay. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. Going back here to this map, Mount Seir, which is in the land of Jordan. You got Basra, you got Petra, all within the same landmass. Coincidentally, they built their buildings red. I mean, and it looked just like modern day Wall Street. Look at that. The Coliseum structure. We call them Coliseums. You go to the Museum of Science and Industry or the Field Museum in Chicago, Illinois, the front of the architecture, it looks just like this. The Greeks did it. The Romans did it. Now the modern day Romans, which is the Americans. So you can't get around that. But anyway, it says the Roman Empire, the empire of the Edomite. And I took a picture of it, which is page 27. And I'm going to just read it because they're quoting the scriptures. But it says, Isaac said, art thou my very son, firebrand, And Jacob said, I am. And the house of Jacob should be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. This is future prophecy because vocab got that lie going, speaking about, oh, well, you know, Gentiles can make it. The kingdom ain't just for Israel, but that's a lie because all throughout the Old Testament and New Testament, it tells us that the kingdom of Israel was the kingdom of heaven is for the Israelites. Yeah, there will be other nations there, but they're going to be in the form of a slave, man. Vocab is mad because his people is going to be the one that's not going to partake in the blessings of the kingdom of heaven. But once the other nations are released from their captivity, they're going to partake in the blessings of the kingdom of heaven, not the blessings that we're going to get, but they're going to have the benefactor of living on the earth in peace, clean water, clean air, real food. OK, they're going to be living under a divine order of keeping the law, statutes and commandments. Esau Edom is not going to be able to enjoy that luxury because he's going to be totally done away with, and deservingly so. It says, for the Lord have spoken it. It says, the answer of Jacob finds it parallel in the words of God to Abraham. Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, which is Yahushai in the reincarnation. And in these passages of the writings of St. Paul and of Josephus, where Isaac is being denominated the patriarch's only begotten son, Ishmael and Esau being both casted out, Jacob became the only begotten son of Abraham and Isaac and the sole inheritor of the promises of the Lord. Wait a minute, man. Even this book acknowledged that. So what the hell is this dude talking about, man? Okay, and once again, this book is called The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomites. Now, the first couple of pages is kind of hard to read because it goes into what you call like that Latin shit. Like it's kind of hard to read at first, but as you go through the book, then it gets a little bit more straightforward. But it's a good read, man. And I'm not finished with it yet, but I really want to get into this book because there's some good history in it. But it says here, and its title to the name Firebrand was already registered in the decrees of God. It says, but the great and exceeding bitter cry of Esau, hast thou but only one blessing on my father. Now they quoting Genesis, what is it? Genesis, when basically, what is it? Genesis 27, I think. When Isaac gave the blessing, when Jacob was supplanted Esau of the blessing. Let me double check that. I don't want to butcher that. But it may be Genesis, the 27th chapter, when he said, the time is at hand, and now I'll slay my brother Jacob. So, yep, Genesis 27. So it says here, bless me, even me also, was both heard and answered by the Almighty, but the spirit of prophecy descended upon Isaac for the second time, and the destinies of the sons of Esau were revealed. Behold, thy dwelling should be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. And this is why, hey, he has the world today. And if you really look at it, he really had, I would say, 2.5 rulerships to 3 rulerships, because you could count the Greeks as a rulership, but they merged into the Greco-Romans, which is called the Greco-Roman Empire. So you could consider that one rulership, but a joint rulership. But then the Roman rulership was just one in itself. And then you got today this current Renaissance period, which is the rulership of the Edomites as well. Like the scriptures say, should be given for a time, times and a half of times, or dividing of times, man. You know, so Esau technically had 2 full rulerships, man, if you want to add the Greeks in here, because the Romans and the Greeks were the same people. Just like the Romans, the Greeks, and the modern day Americans, the British, the French, the Turk, those are the same people. The Russians, you know, and that's the point I wanted to make. So anyway, let's go here to the book of Ecclesiastes 4, and I'm going to start at verses 16. It says, there is no end of all people, even of all that have been before them. Wait, the scripture said there's no end of all people. Because right now you still have all 18 nations on the planet Earth. Esau Edom just assumed the identity of everybody else outside of his own, but he's being revealed. And this is why the scriptures say in Thessalonians, at that time that wicked should be revealed, whose coming is after the working of Satan, because Esau is the devil. And it says here, even that have been before them, they also that come after should not rejoice in him. But surely this also is vanity and vexation in spirit. Okay, let's get this in the book of Ezekiel 35 and Let's start at verses 1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophecy against it. Wait a minute, man. Why did he tell Ezekiel to prophecy against it? And it said unto it, Thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lie thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time their iniquity had it in. Okay? Now, when you look at modern day terms, who shed the blood predominantly of Israel on the planet Earth today? Outside of the Arabs and the Africans. You Edomites, man. Okay, you Edomites are responsible for the bloodshed of the Negro, Latino, and Native American. Just our slavery alone. Just off the Trail of Tears with that devil Andrew Jackson. That's enough to fulfill that, man. And that hatred has been brandished in these devils since the beginning. Ever since he was supplanted of the birthright, when he said that the time of mourning of my father is at hand, now I should slay my brother Jacob. Even going back into the time of Cain and Abel, when Abel offered up the Most High a righteous sacrifice and Cain offered him up a wicked sacrifice, and he killed Abel, that blood feud goes all the way back until then. And it plays out today just off the hatred they have from us. So how the hell can you not say it's several context clues in the scriptures that these people are around today? Okay, Esau, Edom ain't Japhet. Because if you look at the Japhetic peoples, which would be the people of Hawaii today or the Pacific Islanders, those people, the Japhetic peoples, which I think Yapa goes into beautiful because their women is like, damn, you know, good looking women. They real thick. But Japhet ain't got a very significant role in end time prophecy. And you devils took over the whole world. Where in the scripture to say that Japhet was going to take over the whole world and enslave the children of Israel until Yahweh Shai came back? Well, where is that in the scriptures? You can't find that nowhere in the Bible, bruh. So you through, man, and you have been exposed. Just the fact that you're trying to deny it proves that you Esau. All right. But it says, therefore, as I live, says the Lord, I will prepare thee into blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus would I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut it off him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills and in thy valleys and all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make thee a perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, man. Now, if you look at the map today, you still have modern day Basra, okay, which still have visitors, tourists. You even got Petra that's still up, okay, and you got people. It's a tourist attraction. People go there, people camp there, people they get sight. They even filmed a few movies in that location. So that's not talking about then. I got to be talking about now. And the modern day cities of Basra is talking about these cities that we're in now. Okay, even Great Britain, France, Paris, all those places, which those places will be built back up. But predominantly Basra being America, Babylon the Great, which is going to be destroyed. All right, let's get this in the book of Psalms, because the spirit is really, feeding now. But this is the book of Psalms 137. Yep, 137. And I'm going to start at verses 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Okay, why did it say remember the children of Edom? Because they're still around. And it says, O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taken and dashed thy little ones against the stone. So wait a minute, why did they equate Edom and the virgin daughter of Babylon within one text? When has the prophets ever dwelled in the virgin daughter of Babylon? You can't find it in the scriptures because it's talking about today, man. And it says, happy shall be he that taketh and dashed thy little ones against the stones. Who took our babies and smashed them against rocks and stepped on their head? Who came up with the whole concept of gynecology, which is the study of the female genitalia, or the female reproductive system, and basically incorporating into medical practices today, which was a form of torture during the time of slavery. A pap smear goes into them basically clamping, like they'll open the woman's legs and they'll rip the fucking baby out of her shit, man. Those practices go back into captivity. Who did that to us? And these is questions that damn demon would never ask, man, or never answer, because he can't, because he's confounded. All right. One last precept and I end it. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, 7th verse. It says, then he answered I and said, what should be the parting asunder of times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Isaac unto Abraham, or to Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed it. And hey, even they will acknowledge that we're in the end of the world. Okay, and this is why they try to discredit the Apocrypha, because they ass is caught red-handed, man. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you were edified.